Thanks for staying with us. Each year on January 7th, National Bobblehead Day recognizes a day of celebration for all spring-connected head bobbing, figurines. For over 100 years, bobbleheads have been entertaining and fascinating fans and collectors. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes too. Now, bobbleheads commemorate iconic themes, movies, and cartoon characters. Individually, they represent some of our most exciting athletes or thrilling television and movie characters. You know, it's very common in the what's it called, in the abroad, in the diaspora. You know those horror movies. Have you seen those horror movies that you just see all of a sudden the bobblehead will just be shaking?
When you're reading, I was going to say a lot of people in this region,
they might not connect.
We might not connect because it's been around for, you said, 100 years.
Yes, over 100 years.
You know, So it's just a privilege for you. Probably if you watch movies and you're keeping.
Yeah, it's a dashboard thing.
Yeah, we
it's
really
a dashboard.
don't.
That's already said what was like.
Yeah, so we really don't have bobbleheads here.
But it would have been nice to have though, because I mean we have loads and loads of celebrities. Maybe somebody should think about that.
Have you ever bought? How many celebrity things have you bought? The ones that have.
Nigerians.
We don't have that.
We don't have that culture.
Yeah.
I've been in rooms with like serious people that I respect, and it was just very difficult for me going over to them. Maybe I'll do it to a business person, but I don't know about it.
Yes, I mean we generally don't have that
culture.
Yeah, because I mean when you think about, we just came out of Dirty December, and you think about all the concerts. I used to work for a company very many years ago. I used to go all over with gigs, and what do? We're selling gear, swag,
merchandise,
t-shirts, and all of that. And I remember being at an M&M show, and I was wearing the M&M hoodie, and we had sold out, and a guy came to me and said, "I'll give you £110, take it off." I think the hoodie must have been like maybe £50 or something like that. And guys, I'll give you 100. He was holding £110 cash. Should I remove? I said,
we don't have that culture.
You know, nobody's gonna spend that kind of money on a Davido T-shirt or a Tiwa T-shirt. Like you don't see that kind of swag here. So it's just
although maybe the new generation coming up, especially with people tattooing, images of celebrity, maybe they would go. No. Maybe it becomes
what we have here is celebrities will pay the person to go and buy this.
That's your point. Let's leave it at that.
Let me not say more. All right, so who do we come to? Let me come to you, AK, first. What did you find for us in the news?
Okay, so what would I say? I'm a bit happy about this news, though not completely, but at least some sort of, should I say, relief?
Justice.
And justice, yes. So back in 2018, there was an ex-councillor and his wife that assaulted a lady in Newborn Essien. This happened in Akwa Ibom, for allegedly stealing money that was sprayed on them in an event. And they were not just angry, they did not just slap her, but they also covered her in charcoal, and then she walked naked. That's how bad it was. And I think some human rights lawyer, Inebe Efyong, actually came to her rescue. I think he's a fundamental human rights lawyer. And what happened is that recently the High Court in Akwa Ibom State has ordered the ex-councillor to pay Inyobong 4 million naira and also 200,000 to cover her expense. Now, why this is some sort of a glimmer of hope for me is that somehow at least some justice is being served, because it was just terrible. Whatever, I think, even if she took the money, was that enough?
Yeah.
The best thing you could do is arrest her and then she produces the money, right? If it was that important to you, and you can claim that everyone she picked was what they sprayed on you. But to just think of what people do with power.
That's it.
And they're not governors. It's not a governor. It was not a senator.
Just a
councillor. So when we complain about people in power, sometimes I just look at it and I say, will we act differently? You get, because people in power, human beings, people's relatives, people's sisters, people's brothers. But I like the fact that even if it's a little dose, because why I say a little dose, because if we think of the current happenings now, we'd see that justice is far-fetched.
Absolutely.
Perfect. But when we
I'm
can fetch
actually-
it, we are happy.
I'm actually happy that, I mean, some level of what's it called, closure would come for the woman, because it's actually wrong. I mean,
Total disgrace.
and this is what we keep saying, that speaks to all the conversations that we've been having about people.
That you need to see stories like this that at least give you some faith in the system, because the system in itself doesn't, like, it's almost impunity. It's almost just so it's nice to just hear stories like that things can come to fruition.
Okay, Uti, your story.
Okay, so mine, very short. My headline says school resumption, Lagos frowns at non-compliance. So this, before I jump into the story, maybe some of our viewers might remember back in October last year when the Lagos state government announced the mandatory 1 week midterm break to allow schools to upskill their teachers and all of that, and they were saying that was on the back of them having harmonized the calendar for the 2021-2022 school year. So of course Lagos State and indeed most of Nigeria, we have quite a high population of private schools, so this is the government now trying to harmonize what happens in the Lagos State and the government schools with the private schools, which then comes to this headline, which says that the said harmonized calendar indicates that schools should have resumed on Tuesday, which was the 4th of January, after the Christmas and holiday celebrations. And basically, the Lagos State government has gone around, the DG of the Office of Education Quality Assurance, who also announced the alignment back in October, Mrs. Abiola Seriki Ayeni, has gone around to schools in certain parts of Lagos, and she has seen that there's a high rate of non-compliance with the opening of 4th of January, and I wonder why. Now, they also said that in the schools that she went to visit, the ones that were open, attendance was poor.
Very poor.
First of all, you have all these school children who have been on holiday, they've been away, the schools have closed. We have a culture in Nigeria, people travel a lot.
So somebody must have booked their return tickets for probably 6 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean 7. So people are returning tomorrow from their holidays.
So I don't even think that, even when you think about the well-being of a child, because she goes on to say that this is to give the schools the maximum amount of time to teach the children. Thinking most of these children have been out of school, they've gone through all the celebrations of New Year and all of that, and then you say right the next day they need to come back to school. Are you even going to get the best out of the children? Is she surprised that the schools are closed? I mean, if you even listen to your stakeholders, a lot of the private schools that you're trying to force into this, a lot of their children have gone on holiday, they've gone abroad, they've gone everywhere. They need time to come back, they need time to recover and be fresh for school.
I just spoke with a friend of mine that my children's primary school, you know, she said that, my dear, we had to resume, but a lot of parents did not bring their kids to school.
They won't.
Thank
I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense.
You, the parent, will you not have time to go to the market?
Well, thank God we are not in Lagos State. Our school is in Osun State. Please, people should leave me alone.
Yeah, because the parents also have. It's not just the children.
Yep.
There are some people that don't.
We just finished shopping for them. They are returned back to school.
Exactly. So don't forget that first was a Saturday.
Yes, now.
So I don't understand what
it's so clear.
It's so clear that you can't.
So I don't. So now I need to understand who are the advisors of what's it called, the Commissioner for Education in Lagos State, because it seems like a lot of things that they are trying to do as policies clearly isn't working. You know, they need to. She needs to revisit. Yes, she needs to revisit whoever the people that she has put in her advisory board or something. She needs to revisit that. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, and I think that also neglecting the real issues, which is the quality of education itself. These are the things I should be hearing from, especially in the public schools. Okay, now they're focused on the private schools. Did any of them visit the public schools to see if the students have resumed? Because in the publication that I read, the schools they were visiting were private schools.
No, it's the private schools they're trying to force
to conform to their
like
calendar.
The ones that are in the calendar, did we go there to even see if they open?
I like what you just said about the standard of education, and I think that should be the real crux of the issue, not about resumption or whatever. We will not have the high level of government school, private schools, if the government
get it right.
We're doing what they're supposed to do correctly.
Absolutely.
So I just want to follow up on the conversation we had yesterday. We had a very, very, it was so sad, the conversation around the young man that died, Sylvester Oromoni. And of course, everybody that watched TV today saw the commissioner for what's it called, the commissioner of police, saying that there is no evidence established that the 12-year-old Sylvester Oromoni the pupil of Dowen College was forced to join a cult or bullied to death. That's according to the Commissioner for Police. And I also saw another publication just this a moment ago where they said that, you know, because the guest we had on the show yesterday, I talked about a planned protest on Monday. The police is saying that they are banning any form of protest, you know, around this issue. So I don't know, this really saddens my heart, because I mean, it says at the end of the diligent investigation carried out so far, there is no evidence to establish a case of torture, bullying, and forceful application of poisonous substance against the suspect. All the suspect detained or denied the allegations of torture, bullying, and administering poisonous substance to the deceased. Allegations that the deceased was being forced to join a cult group was also not established, as other students interviewed denied this. For me, I think there's a very I don't know how to even explain how I feel about the kind of investigation that was carried out in this case. Wait, even if there was a trying to force a cult or whatever, do you think it is going to be easy for you to get the truth out of these children? That's number one. Number two, this boy said a lot of things on his dying bed. I don't know if the evidence, I mean, because this, according to what I heard before, that there were video footages where he was talking. I mean, we watched some of the videos where he was crying and all of that. So I'm just begging that before they jump into conclusion, can they do another independent, thorough investigation? Let it not be that it is some big man trying to sweep this under the carpet. It is not possible that what we saw, the level of, I mean, sores and whatever, that torture and pain that boy went through, that something was not done. And don't forget that even the CCTV cameras, you don't have CCTV cameras in bathrooms. We don't have it in the hostels. So how are you just going to come with your full chest and say there was no form of bullying or there was no form of trying to force the boy to join a cult? It is very irresponsible for you to say that as a government. I think there should be some level of sensitivity here. Somebody has died. So you can't just wake up. Let us find a way to have a more thorough investigation. You can't just jump into conclusion and say that nothing like that happened. I think it was very irresponsible for the government to put out this statement today. It is really wrong.
Well, there's only one thing I would say. I don't regard those. As in, the things that go on in this country, and it's not just with this case. We have seen several things that they try to play tricks with our minds and maybe tell us that we can't see properly. Because you have just mentioned it. And I couldn't bear to watch the video of the mother. But there's one person, I don't know if I'm sounding religious, that we all can't hide from, and it is God. It's okay. People confess after 30 years, Abby. It is okay. You know, sometimes we act as if there is no higher power. And we believe that whatever influence that we have, we can use it unduly to rob people of their joy in this life. But it doesn't go unpunished. That's all I would say. Because just as you have clearly stated, let's even forget every other evidence that we saw. Look at the video of that boy. His mouth was clearly burnt. So what are we saying? That all of that was from what?
Sepsis.
From what? From an ankle injury that he had? Who are you telling?
The way you said sepsis. I'm sorry.
Who are you telling?
You know, but I think for me that it just speaks to a larger thing. Like I said yesterday, sadly, none of these conversations will bring Sylvester back. The focus for us has to be on how we prevent and make sure that other children are safe, not just in this one school, because we all know that bullying is a global issue. The reality for me is, I like the way they've positioned this statement. You know, it's a play of words. Say there's no evidence. Ojodubega, there was no evidence. The one where they found evidence, the condom, nothing still happened. So it's more for me, the focus for me always is about looking ahead and looking forward, and how do we learn from these things? How do we find lasting solutions?
I'm sorry to cut you, but if we do not call a spade, how will we ever
I
learn?
agree, but what I'm even saying now is that, look, we can all sit on this issue. You know, it's easy to just say, oh, we're looking for justice for Sylvester. And I'm saying, let's look at the bigger picture, because other children will go through this. So when we are holding the government accountable, let it go beyond come and tell us what happened to Sylvester. Let us start to look at how do we truly protect our children.
Thank you.
How do we stop it from being school A, school B, school C? Because
C.
it can happen anywhere
So where are the measures that we are putting in place to just avoid future occurrence?
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue the conversation. I'm telling you. All right, so we want to talk SME growth for 2022. Stick with us. We'll be right back.